Welcome into Bleacher Talk. I know you're probably expecting to see the Brad Sessmatch show here on a Tuesday. I know he's on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, but it's high school football season. We're changing things up. We've got a brand new show for you, Bleacher Talk with Claudia Faust and Jordan Spurgeon. I'm Jordan Spurgeon.
That would make me Claudia Faust. Yeah, that would be me.
I forgot which way to point, but Claudia, I'm excited to get the show off the ground. How about you?
I definitely am too. It's going to be a lot of fun. Here's kind of what things are going to look like. We're going to kick every show off with our quick picks. We're going to have Bruce Cooper on with us to do that with us. It's going to be 3 matchups of the week that we're choosing who's going to win. And we're keeping score because I'm competitive and I like doing that. So we're going to see at the end of the season who ends up winning. And then our next segment will always just be a guest on, someone new every time. And then the final segment is going to be our social media spotlight or our social spotlight segment. So lots of fun on Bleacher Talk.
So with that, we've got Bleacher Talk. We're kicking it off. Let's bring in Bruce Cooper. And Coop, first off, welcome to the team here at Sports 360 AZ. I know you filled in for Brad a few times, and now you get to be energized by us a little bit, right? Coming in here.
Well, Jordan, Claudia, thank you so much. I look forward to another exciting high school football season here in Arizona. Of course, I'm always just elated to see how our stars here in high school blossom on Saturdays and even on Sundays in some cases here. But, I mean, obviously the quarterback situation here, I'm just overjoyed. I mean, Spencer Rattler, here's a guy that, we covered, and here he is, the leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy here in 2021. I mean, it's just exciting to see that. I mean, we all covered Brock Purdy as well. We know what Keaton Slovis is doing. So, yeah, I'm excited for another big, exciting season of high school football here in the state of Arizona.
Well, I hope you're just excited for quick picks. I think we're just going to kick that right off. So the first matchup I want to ask you guys about is Brophy versus St. Mary's. Real quick history on that. It's been 9 years since these two teams have faced off. Kind of a rivalry here. Bruce, who do you think is going to win that matchup?
Well, yeah, I mean, that used to be one of the showcase rivalries here in the state. I think the last time they met was 2013, I believe it is. And look, Brophy had just started to dominate that rivalry because, I mean, they began to get more of the top echelon players while the enrollment or the player participation at St. Mary's continued to go down. And now we see the St. Mary's doesn't even compete in the same division. I believe they're still in the 4A ranks right now. I know they made it to the playoffs for the first time last year under Jose Lucerne. I love him coming back to coaching his alma mater, but I'm sorry, Jose, you just don't have enough bullets. I mean, I'm anxious to see what Kurt Warner's son EJ will do at quarterback. I know he got knocked out in the first game last year, but I think it's a total mismatch. It'll be a complete blowout. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 60-6 final score. Brophy.
I'm actually going to have to totally agree with you, Bruce, just from what I've heard about the program. I mean, St. Mary's is still in a rebuilding phase, which is great. I mean, you want to see that for a team, but it is a mismatch. And it's kind of how things were left off. I mean, it was a rivalry for a long time. And then those last few years, Brophy just dominated. So I think it's kind of just going to pick up right there. What about you, Spurge? Do you have something different to add here? Maybe just to get that extra point?
I normally want to be that different guy, but I think we're starting off on a clear base. I mean, listen, everything I'm hearing, St. Mary's, they're rebuilding the program. There's a little bit more energy than there has been the last couple of years around it. They're just not quite there yet, but I think they're building a foundation, and it might not be a 66-6 game, or it could be, I don't know, but I still think Brophy has another level or two ahead of St. Mary's, and so I do think that reinstating this rivalry, it's still going to lean in Brophy's favor.
Well, right off the bat, we're each at least getting a point, or we're all getting 0 points for that pick. The next matchup is Higley versus Williamsfield. I'll give you my take real quick. They're only 2.6 miles away from each other. So that's just kind of a built-in rivalry by proximity. Here, I kind of think it's Williamsfield. I mean, they've got, from what I've heard, we don't know who's getting the QB spot with Higley right now. And it's kind of a little bit of uncertainty. And I think until we actually see, a game under their belt, I think the safe bet here is Williamsfield. It's not as unevenly matched as our last matchup we talked about, but historically they've done a little bit better. Spurge, what do you think?
I think I may have to say something with Higley. First off, I liked what Williamsfield did last week against Chandler. I thought they competed really well, but just talking and seeing the social media presence of Higley, they have a lot of seniors on that team, and they have a lot of guys that want to show some fight. And while I do think Williamsfield has a little bit more talent, I actually wouldn't be surprised. So I will be the underdog picker here, and I think Higley has a chance against Williamsfield, if nothing else, to make it an interesting game.
All right, Bruce. Is it me? Is it Spurge? Who are we picking?
Tell you what, Coach Zuby, I know him very well. I used to coach at my alma mater for one. But look, he's had to deal with big COVID-19 outbreak there. I know they were quarantining the football team for almost 2 weeks here earlier in the month of August here. So, they're battling with that. And then they're going to look across the field and they're going to see Steve Campbell. And I look, Steve Campbell will get on me if I pick against his team. Trust me, the guy won't. He's like an elephant. He never forgets. He never forgets. And let me just say this, though. I know there's a quarterback issue you talked about there, Claudia, but whoever the starter is, just turn around, hand the ball off to either Isaiah Jameson or Caden Cloud, and you're fine. I know Kyler Casper, the wide receiver over there, highly rated. I know ASU is in on the kid. I just think they have too many bullets over there as well. I think that Williamsfield, not a big blowout, but I think that this could be a final score like maybe 35-21 Williamsfield. So I'm taking Steve Campbell and his Black Knights. So Steve Campbell, listen up. Coop took you to win.
Spurgeon and I are kind of screwing up here. We're not giving our final score predictions. So, I mean, I don't know if you get extra bonus points. If you absolutely nail it, we'll have to decide later. Last matchup here. We're going to Mesa, Westwood versus Mountain View. Bruce, you've got a lot of energy right now, so I'm going to let you pick this one up.
Well, you know what? And here it is. It's going to be tough for me to pick against my alma mater, Westwood, even though, I don't want to say it publicly, but, I don't have a lot of confidence that they'll put a W there necessarily. Look, Mountain View's had a great tradition that started with Jesse Parker under Bernie Buskin, Tom Joseph. But, yeah, they've had some lean years. I mean, the balance of power has certainly shifted over to the east side, down in Chandler area. So they're not what they used to be. But neither is Westwood, and so the smart money says take the Mountain View Toros, but I got a helmet behind me that my alma mater, Westwood. I can't go against them. I'm taking the Westwood Warriors.
I love it. I thought you were going in a different direction there for a second. Up to you while Spurge gives his answer. If you want to go grab that helmet, you've got a sec while Spurge lets us know Mountain View or Westwood.
So simply put, I think Mountain View is going to win this game. First off, Toro name, any school with the Toro name, that's usually a school that I'm going to have a hard time picking against. For some reason, that mascot, anytime I picked against them in the past when I lived in San Diego, I always lost every single time. So I'm not allowed to pick against any school with that mascot. And so I think it's a close game. I think it's somewhere in the ballpark of 28-24. I think it's kind of hard nosed. You see a few flashy plays, but you'll see a lot of strong defense in this one. So I think Mountain View is going to pull out though against Westwood.
All right, you gave a final score here too, so I guess I'm gonna have to, and I'm gonna have to agree with Spurge. I'm sorry, Bruce, but I do think it's the Toros here. Kind of think they have it in the bag. I mean, they have most of their defense returning. They have their QB, Willie Roberts, returning. They just have a lot of certainty, and they have that growth that you want, opening a season. You kind of know what to expect from them, at least to a degree here. So I'm sorry, Bruce. I'm going to go final score 32-28. I'll keep it close. That's for you, Bruce. I'm keeping it really close for you.
Thank you, love, for both you and Jordan. I mean, you guys kept me in the game, so I'm pleased as Peacock proud.
Peacock's really pleased. I hope so. Awesome. Well, stick with us when we come back. There's going to be a whole lot more to see. We've got two guests on. Who do we have, Spurge?
Yeah, we've got Coach Garretson over at Chandler High, and then we've got Coach Taylor at Centennial. They're facing off this Friday night. I know Coop's going to be down there at that game, checking out the new quarterback for Chandler. You'll hear who the new quarterback is after the break from Coach Garretson. Welcome back to Bleacher Talk. I'm Jordan Spurgeon. I'm joined now by Chandler head coach Rick Garretson. And so we're going to go ahead and get right into this, Coach G. First off, big week. You've been preparing a long time for this. You've got your opening matchup against Centennial this Friday. So obviously you've been putting in a lot of work to get your team ready, but what does that final week look like for you as far as really getting your guys ready to play in their first game?
Well, it's a rhythm, because football is a rhythm game. And just getting into that, we kind of started that back last week after our scrimmage of getting into our rhythm last, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Kids had, Sunday off, and then we'll go ahead and get back out to work and have a heavy day today and a heavy day tomorrow on Tuesday, and then more special teams on Wednesday, and then a walkthrough on Thursday, and then let's go play some ball on Friday against a great opponent with Coach Taylor's team at Centennial.
So speaking of that scrimmage against Williamsfield, obviously unfortunate to see Keon go down. I know myself and Jordan Ham spoke with you a little bit after, and you're a little shaken up about it. But have you talked to him a lot over the last 5 days? And if so, how's he handling everything?
He got the feedback that, he's probably going to be back in 6 to 8 weeks. There was no tears of ligaments or tendons or chips or broken bones or anything. So that was a positive. The biggest thing, and it has nothing to do with, oh my gosh, we lost a receiver, like Keon. It has to do with what type of kid he is, and seeing that kid and the pain he was in. And of course, I'm sure things that were going through his mind about potentially his senior year being over. It was hard to watch in that sense, but they knocked him out. They put it back in place, and he was doing great on Thursday. And talked to him over the weekend. He was in good spirits. So, knowing Keon, he's the type of kid that will, probably most definitely be back in a 6 to 8 week period to, go ahead and come on back and play some ball.
So we're glad to hear that. Now, here's the question. I'm sure you've been getting texts from everybody and calls from people and maybe nonstop, almost harassment with it, but who's going to be your starting quarterback? Do you know yet on Friday? Is it going to be sort of a rotation? How are you feeling about your quarterback room right now?
No, we announced it on Friday. It's Blaine Hippa. Blaine Hippa will be the control on Friday.
Perfect. Yeah, I absolutely totally missed on that one, but good. So Blaine, so what are you expecting to see out of Blaine come Friday?
Guy's a player. Nobody knows about him because he hasn't been in Arizona. I know he played at Campbell High School in Hawaii, on Oahu. As a sophomore, he took Campbell High School to the semifinals of their open division. Threw for, I think, 31 touchdowns and about 2,700 yards as a sophomore. Did not play last year because they didn't have any football in the state of Hawaii. He's a lefty. He's a gunslinger. He can run. He's a very good player. Very good player. As are my other two kids as well.
So off the field a little bit, how much are you looking forward to having kind of a full student section again, having everybody supporting the team on Friday nights?
Oh, I think, that atmosphere of Austin Field and high school football fields throughout the state of Arizona, was definitely missed last year. So just getting that vibe back and, having that energy, it's really exciting to go ahead and know that that'll be back in place again on, in the 2021 season.
Last thing for you. So this is something I've always been curious about as I'm getting to know the high school scene, but how do you embrace everything that this program stands for? You've got Ohana, you've got a winning culture where you've won 5 consecutive titles, back-to-back open division championships as well. Year in and year out, you have new faces. You have a guy like Keon go down, and you seem to just have a next man up mentality. So how do you keep the ball rolling in a program like this and just keep the wheels turning and keeping everybody energized?
Well, my staff is experienced, and we look to make things better. And we look to see how we can improve. We're very detailed, we pass along to the kids, and we prepare. Preparation is key of to success. We don't talk about streaks, we don't talk about open division. I mean, obviously those are the goals, but we just go about our business, and we work them kids hard, and they respond well. Same thing, like Keon goes down the other day, and the guy that replaced him caught like 5-6 balls and a touchdown, and it's just it's that being ready for that opportunity if in fact it comes, it comes along. And that was started years ago back when Sean took over the program, and we've continued that since I've been here, and just trying to make things better, and working really hard to do that. And it's not just on the football side of things, it's with leadership, and everything else that's involved academically with, with the sport and with school.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, Coach Garretson. Good luck this week and best of luck the rest of the season as well.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, we're going to send it over to Claudia Faust, who's got Coach Taylor at Centennial. Claudia, take it away.
Thanks, Spurge. I'm here now with the head coach at Centennial High School, Richard Taylor. You're opening up the season against the reigning Open Division champs, the Chandler Wolves. What do you know about their 2021 team, and how have you been preparing for them?
Well, Chandler always has a great football team. The coaches over there do such an outstanding job. I know they're ranked in the nation. Year in and year out, Chandler is going to be on top or near the top. So that's why we're excited to play them.
Are there any new faces on the Coyotes team that we might expect to see, or anyone that you're excited to see take the field maybe for the first time?
Well, most of our offensive line is new. So that is going to be, they're real excited, and they've been improving daily. And we really depend on them, and we expect good things from them. So it's going to be exciting to watch our offensive line.
Are there any strengths or weaknesses that you're kind of focusing on right now, maybe improving over the next few days before Friday comes around?
Well, the hay's kind of in the barn now. We have one offensive day, one defensive day, one both, and then walk through, and then it's game time. I'm really pleased with the work that all the kids have put in. They practiced really hard, and now it's time to see where we're at. And this first game is, I think, really important, especially going against a real quality team, for them to point out our weaknesses, and they will. So I'm looking forward to this game for a lot of reasons.
2020 was definitely a crazy season for everybody. Do you feel refreshed? Does the team feel refreshed going into this season, kind of having that sense of normalcy back, at least to some degree? Has it kind of refreshed everybody?
I would say yes, it has. We actually got a full summer in lifting, and last year we did not. We could only have limited numbers of kids in there, and so I think we are more prepared physically this year than we were last year at this time.
What's your assessment of your schedule? Are there any games that stand out to you? I know coaches like to say, no, they're all the same, but kind of the flow of the schedule. What do you think?
Well, our schedule is probably as demanding as any schedule that we've had. We play both Chandler and Hamilton, and all the other 8 teams. There's no easy or off week there. This is a very difficult schedule. But, that said, I would much prefer that than to playing games where you win 40-0. Those are not very exciting for me.
I'm sure you've heard the news by now that Chandler's Keon Grays will be out, at least for the first game of the season. What were your thoughts when you saw that, and did you have to make adjustments to prepare for any changes?
Well, I saw the play. It was, it was an ugly play. It was very painful to watch. We were sorry that happened. We were game planning for him because he is such an outstanding athlete. But he's not the only great athlete that they have. It's not like he was the only player that they could go to. It's just going to give other kids more opportunities, and those kids will be ready.
Well, I'm kind of going to switch gears here because the Sports 360 AZ team worked very hard on a documentary on someone that I believe you know pretty well, Zach Hoffpower. It was such a pleasure to get to know who he was through his friends and family. And unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to talk, but we're here now and we have the chance to talk about him now. So I'm just curious, when you hear the name Zach Hoffpower, if someone on the street came up to you and said, hey, you coach Zach Hoffpower, what would you say about him?
Well, after I stopped smiling, because he was such a great kid. You know, he was nice to everybody. He was friendly. He was smart. He was articulate. He was a leader. He was a prankster. One time out of practice, he came up and he said, "Coach, did you hear that Bobby is quitting?" You know, Bobby was our quarterback. I said, "What do you mean he's quitting?" He goes, "Yeah, he doesn't know how to tell you, and he'll probably tell you after practice." So I go over to Bobby and I go, "Bobby, is everything okay?" He goes, "Yeah, sure." I said, are you sure everything's okay? Is everything going all right?" I look over at Zach, and Zach is over there cracking up because he liked to pull little jokes like that. And I made my fist at him like that. He started laughing. He could sing, he could dance. When he walked into the room, there was just power and energy there. Everybody, I don't think there was anybody that ever had anything bad to say about him. As soon as you met him, he was your friend. And it didn't make any difference whether you played football, you didn't play football, whether you were popular or not popular. Zach was your friend. He was a great guy.
What's funny is I didn't even have to ask you about his dancing. I haven't had to ask anybody about his dancing. That is just something that every person who knows him feels obligated to bring up. So it's,
Yeah.
you know, and I've seen videos. He's an incredible dancer. I would definitely not want to have a dance battle against him, but I'm curious. I haven't asked anybody this, which now I'm regretting it. So I'm glad I have you on right now. Was he a better dancer or a better football player?
Oh, wow. You know, if he wanted to, if he took classical dance, he could have probably gone very far with that. So he was a better football player, but if he wanted to be a better dancer, he could have been.
Well, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you. Best of luck this entire season. I look forward to seeing how your team does. Thanks so much for coming on to join me. We'll be back after the break with our social spotlight. Hey, welcome back to Bleacher Talk with Claudia Faust and Jordan Spurgeon. Guess which one's which? I'm hoping that you're on a comfy couch and not on some bleachers, but we're both looking forward to being on some bleachers on Friday night, even though they are kind of uncomfy. We'll probably be on the sidelines though, right, Spurge?
Yeah, we'll be kind of standing, walking around, talking to coaches, shaking hands, kissing babies, you know, the usual you do watching high school football. So I'm excited to get out there starting this week. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I'm excited for this new segment that we're going to be bringing you every week. It's our social spotlight, where we're just going to spotlight things that we see on social media that are a lot of fun. So we've got a few right now. Let's check out the first one. Jeremy Hathcock. He is the head football coach at Blue Ridge High School. He posted this video saying, after a tough loss in overtime last night, our boys are out here building carports for our elementary school. Spurge, I don't know about you, but I think that's how you get some big burly high school football players, is you make them build some stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's the thought process.
It's the best workout. I built this weekend, this backdrop back here. And honestly, it was kind of a workout. Like, I was a little bit sore, not going to lie. And I work out a lot. So I was actually surprised. So them doing that, great workout, excellent for the community, build some team relationships. I think that's one of the coolest things.
I don't build things anymore. I built like 2 things from IKEA, and I am never doing that again. It was a nightmare. I think I cried. I had just moved to Arizona, and I was trying to build my dresser, and I was by myself calling my parents like, I can't do this. And that is the day I decided, if I buy something from IKEA, it is not my responsibility to build it.
Speaking of building things too, the next thing we want to talk about, Basha. A lot of buzz around them on social media this offseason. Got a lot of transfers in. So on the field, the product's looking good. But from the press box, it might be looking even better because they got a brand new press box for the 2021 season. So not only taking care of their players on the field and getting them ready, but taking care of us in the press a little bit. You know, it's nice. There's nothing wrong with, you know, some of the older press boxes that are kind of tough to sit in, but it's nice when there's a new press box. It's maybe not so dusty yet, and you're able to kind of take your notes and edit videos right after and really enjoy the experience out there. I don't know about you, Claudia, but I've been in some different press boxes, not only in Arizona, but in San Diego, where I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to like get bit by a spider or something in here. So you won't have that there.
Spider, scorpion. I honestly might take the scorpion because I hate spiders so much. But anyways, moving on to another fun one. Noah Perez, he is a kicker at Desert Vista. A lot of fun to follow. I kind of like discovered him a few weeks back, months back, and he just posts a lot of videos. He's a soccer player turned kicker, kind of a smaller guy, but he is super, super talented. He's always posting videos. This one is him kicking from 56 yards out, and he is absolutely nailing it. He says with 10-mile-per-hour crosswinds, I don't know how much harder that makes things. Doesn't sound easy in the first place, but he just makes it look like a piece of cake.
Speaking of that piece of cake, piece of a pancake, the greatest photo on the internet in Arizona high school football right now, Raul Aguilar. He's an offensive lineman playing all 5 positions at Saguaro High School. This picture of him eating pancakes is just epic. You know he's going to be laying pancakes on the field. Also a kicker. He can also kick the ball as well. I don't know if he's exactly the same as who we've just talked about, but Raul can kick the ball as well. So I'm excited to see him lay some pancakes. I know, Claudia, you might be seeing Saguaro at some point this week or next week. So watch out for Raul, because this photo right here, if it says anything about him, it says that he's going to be on the field just dominating after eating all those pancakes.
I think we talked about pancakes and cakes too much that we're just going to have to call it here. I'm going to go to Nothing But Cake and get myself a red velvet bun cake with cream cheese frosting. But anyways, if you've got pictures of you eating pancakes and you're on a football team or anything fun football related, just hashtag Bleacher Talk or Friday Night 360 AZ. We want to see it. We want to spotlight you. This has been so much fun, Spurge. I'm so excited that we're bringing this show to 360 AZ and just to AZ in general. I mean, we have a good time.
A great time. New things in both of our backgrounds as you go. So when you're watching, if you get distracted for a minute, feel free to point new things out as we go along. But we're excited to build this show. Jordan Spurgeon, alongside Claudia Faust. Claudia, wrap us up.
Just give us a follow. Claudia N. Faust on Twitter and Instagram. Spurge is at Spurge, and there's an underscore right after the E there. But we want you guys to follow us so we can follow you and see everything you're up to. Thanks so much for joining us here on Bleacher Talk.